Hey healers, welcome. Reiki ho. What's up? Drop your city, drop your zodiac sign. Let me pin a comment. Hey y'all. Hey, welcome. Drop your city, drop your zodiac sign. Let's see who we have in here. I'm a Gemini Sun, Scorpio rising, Capricorn moon in New Orleans. City and zodiac sign. We are here to talk about heaven on earth Reiki. Yes. I am Amira Barakat El Beledi, the sacred stripper, Sarada Muladara, founder of Heaven on Earth Reiki, zodiac sign. I'm gonna drop my cash tag. Tips are appreciated. Sacred stripper on Venmo and Cash App. Okay, I'm about to pin this comment. That always takes the longest. Hey y'all, it's been a while since I went live. What's up? Welcome. Welcome to new people. Welcome to old people. Hi Habibi, kif halik? Assalamu alaikum. We got Scorpio in the house, Miami, Leo, don't like trouble. Capricorn and Cape Cod, mashallah. Leo, hey. California, Gemini, Leo Sun, Gemini rising, and a Pisces moon, hey. Cancer Sun, Capricorn moon, Pisces rising, Austin. Hey, I'm a Texas baby, Dallas, and I'm a Cap moon too. I'm beautiful. I'm triple streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram right now. I have a Facebook page, facebook.com/hoesarehealers, and my YouTube is in the link in the bio. Alhamdulillah. Okay, y'all, so I'm so excited because I just dropped my Reiki class. Let me put this music off. What's up? Can y'all hear me? Who here does Reiki? Let's talk. So Reiki is a holistic healing modality. Essentially, it's energy healing. Everyone has different specialties with it. For me, my specialty is physically feeling through the body. So when I work on people, I feel in my body what they're feeling. And I started as a stripper and as an esthetician too, because working in the adult industry and working in the spa industry, like I'm always close in physical proximity with people's bodies. So you really start to notice energy. Like anybody that works closely with other people, you start to notice energy. So when I used to do facials for people, I would just be like doing a little facial massage and I would send them good energy. And I would feel on myself them relaxing when I was working on them. I was also doing sensual massage. So I would do the same type of thing when I was doing my sensual massage. But it was a little bit on another level because it was sensual also. So I was already doing Reiki, but I didn't know what exactly I was doing. It just came naturally to me. The problem was that I was taking on a lot of energy and I didn't know how to release it. So, and I also didn't know how to transmute it, because there's releasing the energy and grounding it, but then there's also transmuting the energy, utilizing it yourself within your own energy field, which is what I teach in the advanced level. But in the Heaven on Earth Reiki, it's more so about shedding and releasing, because we take on so much stuff like from our environment and from different situations that's just not ours to carry. It's a literal baggage, especially when it comes to refugee trauma. Like I feel like these past few years, while I've been developing this curriculum, it has been a lot of purging of refugee trauma because I've moved so much. I've been city to city, place to place. I've traveled so much all over the occupied Turtle Island / the United States, quote unquote, KKK capital. Kuala Lumpur, in a Taurus Sun, Aquamoon, Scorpio rising. What up, though? I'm a Scorpio rising too. I don't know either. It's so hard. I can feel it too. I don't know how to release. that's the biggest challenge. That's the thing that people have the most difficulty with, is learning how to ground and release. So in my course, I teach you how to do that. I teach you how to channel the energy, and it's a very organic way of channeling the energy. It just comes from within you. Because a lot of Reiki classes, you get initiated by a Reiki master, and that person plants symbols in your aura. They plant symbols in your auric field. And these typically are these traditional Reiki symbols, which are, according to the mythology of that system, they were channeled by Usui Sensei, who was the founder of that system, and he went to the mountaintop and had a spiritual experience and channeled those symbols. I personally channeled my own symbols, and they're alchemical symbols, which will be familiar to you, which you would find in the zodiac or in planetary alchemical descriptions. And these symbols are very ancient and very timeless, and they're not really culturally specific. Like, they're found in many different cultures. I recommend channeling your own symbols, and you can even channel different symbols for different situations and different people. Okay, St. Louis Scorpio, looking at you is healing. Love, mashallah. That is a beautiful compliment. I feel really good about that. And that is Reiki. Like, it's like, that's why I say hoes are healers. Like, we already are embodying healing energy just by our beauty, the way that we adorn ourselves, the energy we emit, and the love that we have for ourselves and other people. And that's already healing. Like, we're already doing these things naturally. And what I teach is how to do it more with a system. And so you know what you're doing, and you're actually practicing it, and you know that you're acknowledging what you're taking on, as well as releasing what is not yours, and then utilizing that energy that comes at you, because sometimes being beautiful comes with a cost, and it can be annoying to have to deal with certain attention, you know, and then it feels scary sometimes, like, you know, I can't be myself. People are just, you know, gonna be too you know, like, I think that I see that so often with beautiful people, is like being nervous about getting attention. But you shouldn't have to be nervous about getting attention, because that's who you are. And part of sexual confidence is just owning that. Like, the more sexually confident you can be, then the more personally confident you can be, and confident in your creations. And I feel like that is so important for us, because we're all special and unique. We are all here for a reason. And I think that just with capitalist culture, it always tries to devalue people and make it seem like certain people are special and certain people aren't, like with celebrity culture and just the worship of the, like, celebrity cult. But as this shit is, like, all these things are getting exposed, like, you know, all these sex trafficking rings, and things like that, Hollywood sex cults. I shouldn't have said that. Now the shit is about to get shot up in this fuck. But my shit is already like that, so it don't even matter. But that's why I have an app. We have an app, the Heaven on Earth app. You're welcome there. And it's a great space for us to connect without censorship, and we can say whatever the fuck we want to say. And now the app has new capabilities where I can go live on there, which I didn't used to be able to do. So I'm very excited about that. I'm going to start scheduling more stuff. Like I was saying in my stories today, like, I stopped showing up for a while because of just some, like, negative and hurtful bullying, honestly. And I just didn't want to be bothered and deal with it. And I've been so busy this year. Like, I've really been going hard for the cause. You guys have seen, if you've been paying attention. And the fact that I just finished this Reiki course is such a huge milestone for me, because I've literally been working on it nonstop, like, with all of my energy for the past 5 years. And it's just been such a huge part of my life. So now that it's complete, it's like there's room in my life for new things to come in, and I'm really excited about that. There's going to be transitions, you know, and there's a lot of stuff that I've been working on for a long time, and I've been understanding how much of like I'm about to say my own, but I would say our own, because like everybody, I think, like, I'm very transparent, and I tell you guys, like, what it is behind the scenes, and I do that so that it can support you with what you do, because I know that a lot of people that watch me are people who are also interested in working in the spiritual healing arts. And that's why I am a teacher, because it is such a great need for people who are trained holistic healing professionals, because we all need healing. Like, we're in a time where everybody needs healing, and if you're called to that path to become a healer and become a spiritual guide, it's clearly for you, and there's clearly a unique ministry that you can be of service to, which people that need you. But being of service does not mean like getting ran through and used, because you actually have to have the like most confident boundaries that you are willing to do whatever you need to do to protect, in order to protect that. Because people really, I'm sorry you guys, but most people out here are extremely selfish, and then a lot of people use their empathy as an excuse to be selfish, because that's codependency, and these are survival tactics that people have learned over generations. So you really got to look to yourself, to your bloodline and your ancestral memory, and not only that, but your past life memories as well, so you can see what type of things you're dealing with. That's your shadow work. Shadow work is looking in the shadows, and that's the things that people don't commonly talk about. Air quotes. I'm going crazy with the air quotes, but I mean it. Like, these are the topics of conversation that are not polite, and people don't want to talk about them. They're considered to be rude if you bring them up. But this is the Scorpio 8th house genre, is love, sex, death, rebirth, the occult, religion, race, politics, like the intersections of these things. And then we're in Sagittarius season right now, which is like, world drama on the world stage. Wisdom, healing, and talking your shit and knowing your shit. Coming up to a Gemini full moon, we're having a massive throat chakra clearing. And I seen something on the internet like this, like time before winter solstice is like the earth having her period. And I so feel that. I so feel that, who else feels that? Do you do one-on-one readings or sessions over Zoom or whatever? I'm not doing any one-on-one readings or sessions right now, because I put so much energy into doing this class. And what I'm doing this season is training Heaven on Earth Reiki mothers. So people that have already studied, that have already done the class, if you take the class, you can do your Reiki mother initiation 22 days later. You just need time to go through that shedding process. But we use different terminology. So in our Reiki system, it's a Reiki mother, not a Reiki master, which I'll explain more about that later. But I'm not doing personal one-on-one sessions right now. I'll let you guys know when I am. So make sure that you're like following and subscribed to my email updates. And usually when I do one-on-one things, I usually offer them in the app first. So the app members get priority. I've been attuned to level 2. My Reiki system is a totally different system. So you start with Heaven on Earth Reiki 1 and 2. And then there's the Reiki Mother course, which is level 3 and 4. And that gives you the certification to teach it. And I recommend that. That's really great, because then you're channeling your own indigenous healing system that is from within your DNA and within your ancestors. It's a self-initiation process for the Reiki 1 and 2 course. The way it works is you download the course, you have your course manual, you have your instructions for initiation, and you initiate yourself. And there's a guided prompt that you can record yourself speaking. So you're guiding yourself in your own voice. Oh my gosh, I feel like I gave something away. Like, I shouldn't have said that. But it's like what I'm teaching you guys, and this technique is very groundbreaking. That's another thing that I wanted to touch on too, is intellectual property within the spiritual healing arts. Because with my course, you download it, it's for you. You don't share it. It's just for you. And that's because that is a certification just for you. So there's energetic protections put in place, as well as, the disclaimer and agreement that you agree to when you download it. And I think that that's very important, because you guys, there's a certain protocol when you're working with a teacher. You are learning from them. And a lot of people get really excited when they learn something from a teacher that's helping them. They want to share it with everybody. But you paid money for that information and you learned it from your teacher. You didn't necessarily learn from your teacher to teach that. Your teacher taught you to use it for yourself. So for Heaven on Earth Reiki 1 and 2, that's for you to work with clients and things. But if you want to teach it, then you go on to get certified as a Heaven on Earth Reiki mother. And that's very important. And I feel like that needs to be said, especially as we have so many people getting into the spiritual healing arts. We have, first of all, we have all these scammers. That's a whole separate thing. But then we have people who are actually like excited. But the thing is, you guys, that the lessons in spirituality is not to get tricked. And spirits will punk you and play you, and they'll get you to do things that are out of integrity. So it might seem like a good idea to take something that someone else taught you and run with it. But it's better for you to sit with that medicine that they gave you and that gift that they gave you, and also don't share with others for free that which you paid for to learn. Okay, because no, and make sure you go through the proper protocols with your teacher. So I have a protocol when studying with me. First, you do Heaven on Earth Reiki 1 and 2, then you do Reiki Mother training. Next, we have Isis Reiki. Oh, y'all thought Isis Reiki went away. Isis Reiki has still been here the whole time, but people weren't ready for that yet. So I'll start teaching Isis Reiki again in 2022. But one of the major reasons that I've been taking a break from doing one-on-one sessions is because where do I begin? First of all, I got a scammer impersonating me, charging more for readings than I was charging. So that really put me in check and made me see how much more I needed to up my rates. But my Reiki sessions are already at high rates because they work. They're worth it. So I love doing them, but also it's like I put in that work, and I realized that I'm not getting the full benefit, like working with the client. I'm not really able to see the full results because we need to be working together one-on-one over a longer period of time. And I was pretty reluctant to commit to that at first, honestly, because you guys know, like, I've been a career sex worker, like, for a reason that I could pick it up and put it down when I wanted to. So the idea of committing over a long period of time to anything was like lost on me. But then I look back, and 4 years later, I've been doing this holistic healing for hoes business every day of my life and loving it. And so I'm like, okay, at this point, it's really time for me to fully commit and know that, like, yes, this is what I'm doing. This is what I've been doing. This is what I'm going to keep doing. And it's important for me to find ways to do it better, that work better for me and work better for my constituency. So that's why I came out with a course, because people need a self-initiating course for so many reasons. Okay, so it is important to have the community support, and that's why we have the app. Everybody doesn't need or want community support, but for those that do, it's there for you. We have over 100 healers in our app, and so I recommend people that are interested in getting sessions from people who are certified and trained in Heaven on Earth Reiki, join the app, because that's where you'll find them. And it's a great place to, like, offer your services to. Some of our members, they do special sessions just for the app members. And it's a way too that you can get comfortable, like, with your voice and just with putting yourself out there. It's in a supportive community. It's contained, it's not out here just to the whole internet. But for me, that is one of my roles, is just to be out here to the whole internet and just really, like, show up. So I love it. I'm not going to stop. It is hard when you get people, like, backlashing at you, but you got to remember that, like, they don't know you. They don't know you. So, yes, do milk the clock. I love to see it. Hey, we've got a Scorpio in New Orleans. I'm walking through my house with this live on blast. Feels like I'm walking around with Sage. Yes. Appreciate you so much. Appreciate you too. Yeah, Habibis. You're incredible. Thank you for sharing your energy in this live. I love you guys. Give me so much love. Like, what? I feel so spoiled. I've been attuned to level 2. Yes, I feel it. Definitely feel that in every aspect, people of my life. Yeah, you guys, because people are attracted to you because they know you have such pure, beautiful energy. And you got to know that that is currency. Got a Scorpio in San Jose. Hey. Don't even get me started. I've been on I can't stop with the conspiracies, you guys, because I love to call them conspiracy facts just to piss people off. But I have to, like, it goes so deep, and that's why it's important for people to get in touch with their own intuition and spirituality, because that's how you're going to learn the mysteries of this universe. You're not going to learn them from any type of Google or none of that shit. You have to be able to channel it straight up for yourself. And some scissors. You got to be able to channel that shit for yourself. Do not count on a teacher. Like, people got so mad because I was saying that you know what I'm talking about, the things were staged. But it's like, I'm not saying that they're not actually happening. I'm just saying that they were planned. I mean, do you really think that this multi-billion-dollar multinational corporation leaves anything to chance? Like, you guys are tripping. But, you know, I understand how hard it is to start to realize that everything you know is a lie. But that's why I don't, like, some people are like, well, if people are under mind control, how do you know you're not under mind control? I'm like, I am under mind control. Like, we're all under mind control. We're all brainwashed. I have no way of knowing, like, the extent of my brainwashing and the extent of my social conditioning. You deserve it. Thanks for all you do. Thank you. I love it. I'm really grateful. I had been procrastinating on getting this course completed for a long time. I want to say, anybody that's like been working on something for a while and you know that it's a really good idea, just try to push through and do what you have to do to get it done, and really make the space for yourself to get it done. Because when you have that collected creative works of yourself, that is money, that is power, that is currency, and you deserve it. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to be wealthy. You deserve to have everything that you want. Don't tell yourself no. It makes me so mad to see such bad bitches all the time who, like, just don't believe in ourselves. I'm going to include myself in that because you guys know I have issues. It just makes me so mad to see it. It's not fair. I feel like I just have to be more and more loving to myself all the time, because I can't let this continue. Like, it's not fair. We just are so hard on ourselves. I see it all the time, especially women of color and queer people of color. I just see that, you know, we deprive ourselves and think that we need to cut corners here and there. And I really I just started like spoiling myself so much, because I'm like, you know what? I know what type of treatment I want from other people. So I'm just going to experience that right now. And it's been working, because there's no reason not to, because none of this stuff is real anyways. Like, we live in a whole simulated reality. People care so much about, you know, like politics, voting for who, this person or that person, but it's all rigged. It's all rigged anyways. Like, even football, like, people get so hype about their team. Guess what? It's all rigged. They already know who's gonna win. All of this shit is rigged. What's your name? What do I call you? Amira. Sending you love and peace of mind. Thank you. Yeah, so it's like, when we can really relax our minds and just see that everything comes through in time, in its own time. Like, anything that you've imagined is real. In alternate reality, it already exists. And if you guys have noticed, lately, like, timelines have been falling away. Old stories, like, it's like sometimes I'll be in the middle of talking and saying something, and I'm just like, I don't really relate to what I'm saying right now. I don't know. Like, it's the stories have changed. The timeline has changed. Like, the actual, like, who we are has changed. That unapologetic self-love hit different. That's right. Because you can't, like, say nothing to a person in that case. you have to unapologetically love yourself. Because like it's like guilt is a prison, you know, and where does that come from? It's just us being told we were wrong. Like when we can return to the childlike center of ourselves and just be who we are and not have to censor that. There's like it's in the nervous system. It's like the reptilian brain that's on high alert and it's always cycling between fight, flight, freeze, fawn. The shadow side of spirituality, like what I saw this Teal Swan video yesterday where she was saying like you the spiritual community, you have a group of people who like shit was just so fucked up that they're like, okay, the only person who can fix it is God. Like the only thing that can fix it is God. And so yeah, I mean it's like people are really wounded, you know, and that's why it's very challenging to be called towards a ministry of spiritual self-love. And for specifically for me, like I can't do spiritual self-love and self-care if I am not centering sex workers and survivors, because otherwise we'll be marginalized and pushed aside. And then I'm constantly finding more and more ways in which if I don't center myself as a Palestinian person, then I will get put to the side and my needs will not be centered. But I don't like to think like that, and it's fucking true. And I get really excited when I can be in spaces where there's other Arab people. And when I show up and everybody's like, oh, I'm Arab too. I'm Palestinian too. When we can have a space, because I want everybody here and I love everybody, but we don't ever get airtime. Like Arab people do not ever get airtime. Our issues do not ever get spoken on. And then I just find it so funny how like my system of Reiki that I channeled is very influenced by Islam. Like, but I worship the goddesses that were before Islam. I am deeply rooted in my culture. And that connects me to every other culture because Arab people are mixed with every bloodline. We don't know. We're not actually Arab. We don't know what we are. We are mixed with, actually. And we'll get into that whole thing of how when they imposed this current reality on us, this current like racial identity stratification that we have imposed on us now. We human beings, like we look the way we look because we were literally bred to look like that. It's not a coincidence. And when it's something that people act like you're not supposed to talk about when we're talking about sex work, that's just crazy because this adult industry is one of the most racist industries that there is, but they're all racist. And we live in a caste system. And there is a sex worker caste. And it is mostly women of color. We got a Pisces in Virginia. Make space for Aswana people. Thank you. We got LA Saggy. Hey, beautiful, can you please save this video, inshallah? I am DDB. I don't know what that is. Thank you. Self-love is everything. Yeah, you're worth the love. Bring all yourselves and experience to everything that you do. That part. Exactly. Leo from Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're really made to feel like we can't be professional just being who we are. But what is professional about like a Trump supporter or like it really hit me when I seen this guy with an anti-Obama sticker on his work van in Atlanta, and I was like, oh, that's his demographic. He's good with that. They're good with that. So yeah, your demographic is good with you. They're good with you. They love seeing your face. Like, we be so hard on ourselves, and like it just makes it hard for us to show up. To scrub that haterade off of your aura, where people are trying to throw shade on you, and just scrub it off. And just keep it moving. That's why we do Reiki. No. That's his whole identity. Like, people think that they have a personality. No, you just have a brainwashing program that you've been downloaded onto. You can always tell when a whole bunch of people say the exact same thing in the exact same way. That's their spiritual program that they're running. So you can tell a lot, because there's certain, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, when there's like certain phrases that like people say over and over that like are questionably probably not true or skewed in a certain way, or they're a stereotype. What they believe, it's a persistent belief. It's not going to change. It doesn't matter if they go to college and study human rights or whatever. No, it's deeply embedded in their soul. I'm not going to say their soul, although some people, yeah, it is. Everybody's not going to do that uprooting like we do. We have a whole ritual, healing mind control. Actually, I took the ritual off of the website, you guys. If you can still find the link, different places you can download it, but it has to be redesigned, because compared to, I made it years ago. I made it in 2018, and compared to my new work, it looks janky as fuck. So I had to take it down, and I'm about to redesign it. So stay tuned for it. But we have a whole ritual. And when I redesign it, I'm releasing the healing mind control ritual. And I'm also going to release the healing Stockholm syndrome ritual with it, which heals from the experiences of pimping and sex trafficking and ancestral trauma, past life trauma, sex slavery of throughout all of time and space. And a lot of us, we're actually dealing with memories from the medieval times, not the restaurant, but the actual era. So there's this persistent image that has come up in a lot of sessions, and just it keeps coming up, of like dungeons and torture chambers and stuff like that. Trigger warning, sorry you guys, but this is what it is. I don't know if anybody else has been seeing it. Like put it in the comments and let's talk about it. Let me see here. Exactly. Yes, you can literally have a convo of what they would say verbatim. Yeah, like, and it's a binary consciousness that people operate under that just flattens everything, when it's really a kaleidoscope. You don't know. Like, people just want to judge other people based on these arbitrary factors, which you really don't know. As a Jewish person, I feel like we are all related, and you and I are cousins, and we love and argue like family. Yeah. And also, I feel like people are so deeply embedded with like their own group for so long. Like, everybody's different. Some people are travelers that go within other communities all the time. Other people are stuck in their own group. But either way, everybody has ancestral memory. And so that influences how, like, you literally, I feel like it's a lot to expect for people not to be racist. I hope, I was about to say, I hope that doesn't come off wrong, but I know, like, whatever, if it's going to come off wrong, it will. But I think it's a lot to expect for people to not to have racial biases, when literally that's been the basis of so much, like, structure of society and privilege and oppression for so long. So people have formed in their mind, just as soon as they see somebody, certain, like, response, and that's a safety response for a lot of people, as well as just like something that's been bred into them. Again, it's like there's ancestral memory, and then there's like brainwashing and programming, and then there's cultural conditioning also. So all of these things combined imprint on the person like what their reality is, and that's not just going to change just because people don't want there to be racism or think that we're all related. Of course we are related, but people don't see it that way. Yes, when white people get called out, you hear the same shit over and over again. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't even resonate with like the conversation about racism being directed at white people, honestly, because I don't, because I feel like it makes it like it's like within people of color communities, it's like everybody always wants to be like anti-white people, but then when it comes to actual issues of intra POC issues, nobody can talk about it. And then it's like the conversation is just shut down unless it's hating on white people. And it just doesn't resonate with me, like, because I feel like I hate a lot of the stuff that I see. I hate, this is one of my pet peeves, you guys, when I see like light skinned people bashing on light skinned people. Because I just feel like it's a trauma response. Honestly, I feel like it's a trauma response because it's like they're like, I know that white people aren't going to accept me, so I need people of color to accept me, and I feel like you won't accept me unless I throw myself under the bus for you. Because I don't think it's fair. Like, I just don't think it's fair. Like, to people of color need to stop punishing ourselves and other people like us for trying to exist under this fucked up reality. It's not fair. So, there's all this respectability politics that goes into it. Like, for people to say, like, you shouldn't practice Reiki if you're not Japanese. If you don't come from that culture, that's not yours. You guys, the levels of Orientalism and racism and that goes into, the practice of Reiki as it is in the United States, and the fact that there's a hierarchy, or that Reiki is seen as a certification that is legitimate when other traditional practices are not, that is a whole, like, that is a whole spiritual colonization right there. So I take great pride in breaking down that existing paradigm within Reiki. We initiate ourselves. You guys, some of y'all have already gotten initiated by me one-on-one or in a group, so you know what that experience was like. And what I learned from those experiences is that, yes, that was magic and that was great to go through those journeys with you. Ultimately, you need to know that you are the source of your spiritual gifts, and you are the source of all your spiritual knowing, and there's nobody in between you and that. And for me to insert myself in any way is too much. Is an imposition. The way that I insert myself in this process is just like simply give you the tools to do it for yourself and do what I did. It is too much to impose on somebody to say, this is how this is done. Because Reiki it comes from inside of you. You just need support in, like, this is how you release the energy. This is how you transmute it, or, oh my gosh, this happened. What do I do? Well, you have a whole community of over 100 healers that you can ask. It's a personal journey, and you help us open up that door to walk through. Yeah. I'm doing it with you guys. I'm always doing it. I show up, and then you can see that it's possible. Preach. I learned Reiki when I was 17, lost my faith in an abusive relationship. Hoeing has brought it back. Good for you. I know that's right. I am a partner in your journey, in your spiritual journey. I'm a partner to a lot of people in their spiritual journey. I am polyamorous. I love it. I'm your twin flame now, baby. Yeah, you don't need nobody else. Oh my God. But it's just funny because it has been a lot for me to grow into my skin as wanting to be ethical and not cross boundaries with my students or with anybody. And it has been hard for me to like show up as a sexual being and, flirtatious and stuff, because like I don't want to send the wrong messages. And people come to me at vulnerable times, and for a lot of hoes and sex workers, that is a coping mechanism, is like being sexual. That's like what we know. as far as relating with people. And, you know, we don't have to do that here. Like, you know, I know a lot of people have shown up on our calls and think that it was time to like get naked and get sexy. And it's like, there's a time and a place, you know, and sometimes sure, but other times no, because we need places where we can just like not have to be sexy and not have to be sexual. You know, like we need to be able just to show up and be fucking ugly. Like sometimes, goddamn. Shit. You know, yeah, I mean, like what we have is special. I wouldn't trade it. What we have is special, and I feel good about my role in that because I'm such a chaotic, crazy person, and just wild as hell. So like, I feel like so many people have felt like I can't trust this bitch. Like she's too chaotic. I don't know what she's gonna do next. And then so then it made me feel like I don't know if I'm trustworthy. And then I like really put deep thought in it, and I turn around. I'm like, I'm the most trustworthy person in this bitch. So I'm like, okay, like you can't trust. You really cannot. You have to know yourself and have your own self perception for yourself. You can't count on somebody else to know you better because they don't. Like they haven't been there in the mirror with you. They haven't been crying on the floor with you. They haven't been praying at 5 a.m., you know, and just like sobbing in the bathtub with you. That was just you, boo. That was all you. You did the alchemy. You transmuted the pain. Nobody else did that. Nobody else saw you in those moments. So fuck how they feel about it. Oh, fuck. I just burned myself on the insides. Trying to be bitchy. I need that space for sure. San Diego Aries. For sure. Like, we always gotta show up and be sexy. Not today, bitch. Obviously, like, it's like we, you know, we have a thing where for sex workers, it's like we don't get to be, I noticed this about a lot of us, is like, you know, we don't always get to be just flirtatious just for the fun of it because, especially when you're healing from trauma of assault, like, it's like scary to be flirtatious because especially when people know you're a sex worker because then it seems like that's an invitation and they're just gonna think like that's an invitation. She's a sex worker. She's asking for it. She wants it. Bitches don't even want to fuck their lovers after getting off work. So no, not you. You ain't special. You know. But it is so important for us to have a sex life if that's what we want and to be able to open up to that softness and have that. And so with Heaven on Earth Reiki, the specific function of this healing system is for drop my thing. Anyways, the specific function of Heaven on Earth Reiki is for healing from sexual abuse and sexual trauma. As a sex worker and as a survivor, this is something that I teach because it's what I use for myself. And I don't see people addressing it in this way and really making this space for it because we need all these different aspects. Like we need it to be in community. We need it to be openly addressed and talked about. We need it to have professional certification to legitimize what we do. We need professional support, peer support. We need like role models and people we can look up to. It's great being part of the community because when I see you guys, I don't feel alone. And I don't have to know you, you know, or like be all in your business. But just the fact that you exist is enough for me. It's enough for me, really. Like, I'm happy. And I'm happy when I see your pictures, when I see your face. Like, because it lets me know I'm not alone. And I feel we're anchoring this crystalline grid in together. We're like rose quartz. We're like rose quartz bodies out here connected with each other like a whole crystal grid around the whole world. That makes me feel good. And we're activated. You know, one of the students described the Heaven on Earth Reiki energy as a treasure chest where we all can go there and pull from it. And it's just this everlasting, replenishing source of healing energy, cosmic, crystalline, dark, glittery, golden healing energy. I'm really excited about the new format. So all my old heads, I sent it to y'all. So make sure to give me your feedback and let me know what you think about it and look at it, because I'm excited. I worked really hard on it. And I'm going to keep redesigning all my old content and ebooks. And, you know, we have a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes here. Please be patient with me. It's a lot. Every day I have to like clear my I send it to make sure that I send it to you, but search your spam, because sometimes they send the stuff to spam. But search Heaven on Earth Reiki and see if it comes up. Let me know. We got a Pisces in Salt Lake City and a Pisces in Vegas. What up? You still look beautiful regardless. Lashes on point. Thank you. San Diego Aries. Yeah. Like, you know, your Reiki is already inside of you. Every language says Reiki different. I just find it funny how somebody with a popular Instagram reposted my post that was a tweet about how Reiki is not exclusively Japanese. It's just that that's the Japanese word for it. And I was also saying that in Islam it's called ruqya, in Arabic it's called ruqya, and it's specifically linked to jinn conjuring and exorcisms. And so so many people were responding on that thread, and they were like, thinking I was saying, well, see, it's like so funny because you can't insert yourself. It's not personal when people are debating your thoughts. But like they were like, that's not true. Reiki is for good. And it's like, why do you automatically assume that exorcisms and jinn conjuring are bad? That's like, but that's actually what Reiki is, and people don't know what they're doing. So yeah, I strongly encourage, if you've already been Reiki certified, I strongly encourage you to get this course and initiate yourself, and then you can clear yourself of anything that you've taken on from somebody else, because spiritual people who have a high degree of energy are constantly getting milked for their energy, and you have to be vigilant about setting up your protections and making sure that nobody's pulling on your energy, because people do it all the time. Even if they're just persistently thinking about you a lot, especially if that's a person that you're connected with. You know, it's really good to be able to go through and just check and see like who's connecting to different chakras and parts of your energy body. How are they connecting with you? And some people really do that, you guys. They really see a person with a lot of energy and they go energy vampire on them. And people literally do magic and rituals to do that. And you got to protect yourself and be aware of these things, especially in the strip clubs and on the internet. In spiritual spaces, a lot of people that do spiritual work, they don't have the highest ethics. They don't give a fuck. For me personally, I practice aligning myself with source and with the energy of all that is, because that's how I'm so protected. When you're doing things in alignment with yourself and your source of energy and with the highest good of all involved, then you're supremely protected, because it's a lot better than calling on different deities to do this and do that and just, you know, doing certain different work. I more so practice a form of chaos magic where I align deeply with what my inner knowing is telling me, and I just go with that. And that's how I practice. And I don't need to know what time of day or what phase of moon or things like that. It naturally lines up. But I sometimes plan too, but it's just rare. So what do you guys want to know about the class? What do you guys want to know about Reiki? For a while, I considered changing the name and not using the word Reiki, and I do sometimes call it Urukia. But I personally in this Tower of Babel, I'm gonna try to be as well understood as possible with as few words as possible. So that's why that. Yes, me too. This is the easiest and smoothest way to do anything. Align with your inner goddess, God, higher self. Yes. How can we know we're good enough after studying the course without a test? You have to know that for yourself. And you can practice with people on the app. So that's a good way to practice with people. But you, within the first 22 days, you only practice on yourself. It's really important that you have to be able to trust yourself, and you have to be able to trust yourself right away. It's not for me to tell you if you're good enough. You have to know that. You have to be tapped into what's going on with you so that you can practice consistently. For example, like if you want it to be your job, you're not always going to feel good. And a lot of times there's a lot of resistance, like especially when you need to heal the most and when you're the closest to that major milestone in your healing is when there's the most resistance. And like for me personally, sometimes I fight it every step of the way, but I can't just not show up. Just if I don't feel good or I don't feel like it or whatever, then I can't just not show up. I can't just not show up. But you got to know the difference between I really am either energetically depleted and I cannot complete this, or two, it's just not the right time, because sometimes it's not the right time. And one thing that I realized when I first started doing Reiki was that sometimes I would need to cancel really bad. Something else would be going on or something would come up, but I was so indoctrinated into professionalism and capitalism that I felt guilty and I felt a value judgment against me if I were to cancel. But then I would be like, I need to cancel and this is my business, so I can. And then sometimes, more often than not, the other person, the client, also needed to cancel, also had something going on and couldn't be there that day. And you can reschedule. Like, it's not that big of a deal. I'm really flexible with stuff like that. I have no sense of time. I'm just going to be honest with you. Healers need rest and recovery. Yes, we do. You should be resting twice as much as you're working. Hey. Hey, healers. We got a Portland Libra. Hey. Yeah. And I do say, practice with other people after you do your 20 days, because when you first do your self-initiation, you guide yourself through it. And in the course, I also have guided meditations from me. So there's those also, and that's going to increase your understanding. Like the Golden Sun meditation really shows you how to channel the Reiki energy for yourself. But I really want you guys from the beginning to just be opening your minds to the reality that you have these gifts already. Because I know for me, for like the first year that I was practicing Reiki, almost every time I was not believing myself. Like I was like, there's no way. But I would just go with it. Like I would just be like, is this real? Like there's no way I can be hearing this, seeing this, knowing this. But then I would relay the message to the person. And a lot of times I'm like, okay, well, what I'm hearing doesn't make any sense. So that just sounds stupid. I'm not going to say it. But then I'm like, but then Spirit was like, say it, say it. And so I'm like, okay, then I say it. And they're like, oh, that's what my great-grandfather used to call me, or something like that. So you don't know. That you can't judge the message. You don't know. You're the channel. You're the oracle. It's coming through you. It's not coming from you. It's coming through you. You know when you're in the zone. And, so that's why some people don't like to read people that they know or that they're close with, because they feel like they're too close to the situation and they can't be emotionally objective. But some people can, it's just up to having those conversations and setting those boundaries and saying like, a lot of times friends want freebies and shit because they don't actually value your craft. So they don't appreciate you. Let them get a fucking cheap shit from somebody else. I can't wait for this. That's so cool. I did get the manual. I just found out. Okay, great. I love you. I love you too. Memphis Aquarius. Hey, what up though? Yes, healers do need rest and recovery. Yes, you guys, unfortunately, a lot of times when I send you guys emails, they go to spam because the subject matter of this business, and because I didn't pay them, whatever. Like there's all these traps where they prioritize, like, you know, this thing called net neutrality. They prioritize people that are paying more to be in the internet marketplace and that are going through certain channels. But for me, the way that I do things is good. You know, I honestly, like, if the shadow ban's not bothering me. You're amazing. Sending you so much love. Thank you. Sending you so much love. You're amazing. I love being seen. Obviously, I didn't get enough attention growing up. Now I need all the attention. I got your emails. Great. Okay, great. I still have to send an email to my list that's telling about this class. I haven't yet. I just posted it on the app and posted it to Instagram. And sent it to the Reiki healers. So we have over 60 Heaven on Earth Reiki healers that have been certified. The majority of them are on the app. You can find them there and link up with baddies. And then we also have a special space that is sex workers only. So if you are, I'm just knocking shit over everywhere. Too much. But we have a special space on the app, sex workers only. So if you're a current, former, or a future sex worker, you can join up with us there, and we share tips and news and important info. You know, we expose people that are trying to hurt us. If anybody wants to talk to a local student about your experiences specifically with sexual assault in the field of adult entertainment, then let me know and I'll pass you along their info. Always sending you love and excitement energy. I love you. I love giving you my attention because you have fed me so much. You have an amazing singing voice. I do. Happy to give you all the attention. Positive attention is everything. I love you guys. Yes. Yay. I used to not know how to get positive attention, so I used to only get negative reinforcement and throw fits. But now I'm more grown, bad bitch, and I know how to utilize my skills and gifts. I don't have to always throw a fit, but sometimes I still do. Digital nomad, a Libra. If anything, the most important part of this process is learning to be yourself and love yourself and embody yourself and know that anything that is not you, you're not responsible for that. You can let that go right now. Spirit can't bless who you pretend to be. Give it up. Give up the charade. Give up the charade. You gotta admit to it. Yes, sometimes as embarrassing as I just have to be myself. And you know what? Actually, it feels good to be able to be, it feels good to like be embarrassed and not care. It feels good to be fucking embarrassing. It feels good to have something worth being embarrassed over. Aspiring digital nomad and also Libra high. What's your big three? I'm a Gemini sun, Capricorn moon, and Scorpio rising. Like, I will be a clown for the cause. Yes, you goddamn right I will. I love being a fucking clown. I love being fucking extra. I just love being stupid. Like, it appeals to me. I want to go out here and live crazy. And I used to be out here like that. And it was so fun. You know, all my old friends seen me become an online spiritual guide and a healer because they're like, this bitch was just in Atlanta starting a bar fight. What the fuck? Yeah, because that's called duality. And I can do that. So yes, you know, I want to make space for healers who are hoes because we are healers naturally and it's what we do. And it's really important for us to have multiple streams of income and be legitimized for our work. They're always trying to shut us down. It's not fair. Libra in New Orleans. We got a lot of Libras in this bitch. Yes, duality, balance. Yes. You're so beautiful. Being myself is so embarrassing sometimes. LOL, yes. It's like, it's fun to be goofy and stupid. I love it. You gotta be who we are. We got a lot of Libra energy in here. Libra is so, see, this is why Libra is so cold. That's the beauty of Libra, is like, it is, the way that Libra is judgmental is the most cleanest judgmental energy of any of the signs, because it is very fair. It is like Libra will judge you extremely fairly, unless you're their partner. I had to, I'm sorry. No, that's Pisces. I have 7 planets in Libra too. We got a lot of Libra energy in here. I'm Pluto Libra. I was just talking about this on the app. So I don't really go do too much in-depth teaching and stuff on this platform. When I'm going to really say some shit that's giving you guys lessons and tips and stuff, I'm going to put it in the app. That way it's behind a paywall. Because I don't believe in having too much spiritual advice out here floating around. Also, it's like, I object to the standards set where creators and spiritual guides should just be churning out constant teaching to people. If that's what you want to do, that's fine, but that's not what I want to do. But when I put it out there, it's worth it. Trust it. I always said that only Libra should be making laws, seriously, because only Libra is really going to be objective. Like, a Libra will objectively judge anybody. North Node Libra here. Hey. Being myself is embarrassing most times. Aquarius Sun, Pisces Moon, Cap Rising. Like, the only people that really aren't embarrassed to be themselves are Leos, to be honest. They just, Leo, that's what Leo gives us, is just like, unapologetically, I'm the shit. No matter how ain't shit I am. Big Venus Day vibes with all this Libra energy, yes. So, you guys, I pulled a card for us. I got this deck earlier today at my favorite store, Path of Awakenings in New Orleans. Go shop there. I got the Khalil Gibran, the Prophet deck. I'm excited to read the Prophet because I haven't read it before, and it's in this book. And then I'm going to read, I like the fact that these are really short poems that go with each card. So each card is one of his paintings. He was a painter and a poet, Khalil Gibran. And the card that I pulled is number 20. The light that lingers becomes a shadow to another light. Can you see it? Ah, a lot going on. I read half. I don't know why I never finished. I'll never read it. Bless you, Leos. You make me feel safe. I read The Prophet overnight in a garden. Beautiful. The light that lingers becomes a shadow to another light. All right, let me read what it says. MashaAllah, I'm so glad I got this deck. I was walking in there like, I don't need another deck, but I had to. The light that lingers becomes a shadow to another light. Freedom. You shall be free indeed when your days are not without a care, nor your nights without a want and a grief. But rather when these things girdle your life, and yet you rise above them, naked and unbound. And how shall you rise beyond your days and nights unless you break the chains which you at the dawn of your understanding have fastened around your noon hour? In truth, that which you call freedom is the strongest of these chains, though its links glitter in the sun and dazzle your eyes. I'm going to read that again. In truth, that which you call freedom is the strongest of these chains, though its links glitter in the sun and dazzle your eyes. Wow. And what is it but fragments of your own self you would discard that you may become free? I'm going to read that again. You shall be free indeed, when your days are not without a care, nor your nights without a want and a grief. But rather, when these things girdle your life, and yet you rise above them naked and unbound. And how shall you rise beyond your days and nights, unless you break the chains which you, at the dawn of your understanding, have fastened around your noon hour? In truth, that which you call freedom is the strongest of these chains, though its links glitter in the sun and dazzle your eyes. And what is it but fragments of your own self you would discard, that you may become free? It's just about taking off the mask, taking off mask after mask. That's shadow work. Who am I really without everything I've become? I have the book too. I love that he has a deck. Holy heck, that was deep. That's a beautiful message. Damn. Can you pick a card for me? No. Yes. Amen. Ashe. MashaAllah. You guys, wow. I mean, yes, I've been read. I think we've all been read to pieces. What piece of yourself will you discard in order to be more free? And how will you unlock yourself from your own definition of freedom? I am so in tune with this message, as I have been struggling with the knowledge that I've been resisting my reality so much because it felt imposed on me. When I turn around all of a sudden and I realize this is what I've been bred for. This is what I've been groomed for. And I am only who I am. I am but that I am. It's good. It's good here. You don't have to be anything other than what you are. I did not want to get married or become a wife and mother, yet it always just felt so natural, but I never did it. Like, I haven't done it yet. And I realized that I was so resistant to it because I didn't think that it was something that I could make my own. But everything that you do, you're going to make your own, it's for you. Anything that you want, that's for you. And it'll all happen in the right time. We go through these journeys. I was so sure that I was like, that I would never really want to be with a man. Then I decided I would be with one man and multiple women. Then I realized actually I need multiple men. that just makes logical sense. Like, I am still learning what relationship style works for me. Through this curriculum, it sets you up for success in receiving reciprocity, because it's really easy for us who are healers, socialized femme, to overgive and not have enough left for ourselves. It's really hard to set those boundaries, especially when that seems like that's what we have to do to be loved. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to be anything but who you are. You can be that mean, crazy bitch if that's who you are, and you still deserve love and you still will get love. And people are going to love you even more for being yourself. The store's name is Path of Awakenings. Hello, goddess. we have been read to filth by Khalil Gibran, coming straight from the grave. Trying to figure out my relationship style too. I keep feeling like I need more space. Proud of you. Saw your announcement. Thank you. So yes, it's really important when you guys have a very groundbreaking idea to put that shit in writing and publish it yourself so that everybody knows that's your intellectual property. I don't claim, look, it's crazy because what I have channeled actually is like, I've seen the same things that I've channeled in the Sophia Code. I haven't read the whole thing yet, but I've seen people post excerpts. I need to read it. I've seen the same things that I channeled in the Egyptian energy healing book. I've seen the same symbols and things that I've channeled in other different spaces. So it's like when it comes to spiritual intellectual property, that's a lot of gray area. But at the same time, the fact that you channeled what you did at the time that you did it matters. And yes, you know, we don't just live in oral history society. It depends who you are. Some of us are writers, some of us are not. Some of us are writers and speakers. We're just wordsmiths. We're gifted. Use your words. You got to say what you got to say. And when people try to police your speech or put limits or impose restrictions on it, that is blocking your throat chakra. And that means that's shutting down all your chakras. And that's a threat. So no. What are you going to do when someone threatens your life? Every time somebody crosses a boundary with you or tries you, it is that serious. Sometimes we don't always have to get nuck if you buck on them, but we still need to know that that's what's going on and know that we don't have to stand for anybody trying us. I personally cannot be dominated. I don't like it. If anybody tries to dominate me in any type of way, I notice it. I don't like it because I'm the dom here. You ain't gonna do what you think you're gonna do, and you can't dom me into doming you. It don't work like that. I hate that. And so it's really important to just vibe your vibe, you know, and be aware of what's going on, because we are not immune to toxic relationship dynamics just because we are talking about toxic relationship dynamics and learning about them. Just because we're healers and we're healing ourselves doesn't mean that we're not narcissistic, manipulative, abusive, and all those things. Being dominated makes me freak the fuck out. You do have to claim it. I realized that this year with my own modalities, I've been doing this for a long time and didn't give myself credit because I thought I didn't count. Babe, you ain't take one break. Every word has been a message. Facts. We are allowed to be fucked up and toxic. I love you anyways. I know that we a lot of times feel that we have to be something. No, we don't. You don't have to be anybody. You already are somebody. I'm comfortable. Like, I'm really confident. I have a natural confidence. I don't know why. I don't know how. They tried to beat it out of me. Not beat. I'm not gonna act like I was getting beat. No. I definitely got spanked and slapped before, but it was not. It was just smushed out of me in different ways, you know. It's like when you're really confident, people try to make you not confident. And then if you're naturally confident, they try to understand, why are you so naturally confident? But like, why shouldn't you be, you know? And people will see you being really comfortable in situations where they feel like you shouldn't be. And then they'll try to question that. But why shouldn't you be confident? Why shouldn't you be comfortable in whatever environment you find yourself in? You belong there. I don't think it's fair. Because you're a Gemini. Yeah, I love being a Gemini. Thank God. Thank you. I don't know about being dominated, but I do like being babied and deeply cared for. Oh my God. That sounds so nice. That sounds so lovely. I love that too. I love that too. I've been getting spoiled. I love being spoiled. Geminis always accept the toxic people. That's what you give us. Yeah. Geminis are the best. People like love to hate us. But what really people really hate is that we accept them flaws and all, and they don't even accept themselves flaws and all, and that we can see them, especially me because I'm Gemini, Scorpio, and Capricorn. Yep. No shit get past me unless I just want to be delusional. It's natural to be confident. It's conditioning to be super insecure. That's the fuckery. That shit ain't natural or in alignment. That part. I got mad Gemini placements. They love to call us two-faced, but at least they both look good. That's right. People hate being unconditionally loved and accepted. Though they do, though. They really do. And because they don't feel good enough. They don't feel like they deserve it. It's not fair. Yeah. It's okay. We just gotta love ourselves more and love each other more. Like that's like when people want to know about like how to exercise a demon, just love it. Like just love it. It'll get so uncomfortable. Just leave. Gemini, Cancer. Hey. Yep, worthiness wounds. Yeah, because somebody with low self-esteem, if you hold them in high self-esteem, they'll hold you in low self-esteem or low esteem. They'll hold you in low esteem. Yeah. I've really struggled with my self-esteem, like especially this past year. I'm not gonna say struggled. I've been building it. I've been working on it. I mean, everything that I do, you guys, it's all in the Reiki course. Anybody, that's why I'm not doing one-on-one sessions right now. Like anybody that wants to know anything that has to do with me or my teachings, study the Reiki course. And if you've already studied the Reiki course, then get initiated as a Reiki mother. Facts. They think you're naive. People think, oh, you just stupid just because you have a big booty. No, bitch, I'm smart. Because how the fuck do you think I survived? With everybody trying to rape me and pimp me all the time. The way that it's a rape culture, the way that we live in an actual rape culture, like, yeah. Especially if you're a sex worker, you're just beautiful. Like, you have to be dodging people trying to hurt you all the time. So we set in more and more boundaries. I mean, one of the things I really like to do is long walks and walk around, and these are my spirit walks. But it's getting to be the point where I can't really do that. I can't really be out here walking like that. Like I sometimes can, but other times it's like, I don't know. My vibe is just, I feel uncomfortable. I'm not gonna finish what I was saying, but I just feel like my vibe is too high. I've gotten too fucking fine. I'll be out here and I just get too much attention and I don't like it, especially because I'm just out on the street. If I was scooting around in a scooter, scooting in a scooter, then that would be cool. That's my next move for my inner child. Been trying to kill me and steal my soul since literally before I was born. I told them they don't want me and they should. I carry my baton with me. Good. I will mace the fuck out of somebody if they try me. I can't wait. Or my knife. Like, I don't want to have to like stab somebody or beat somebody. I just want to mace them or tase them if they try to come up on me. But usually I just keep the black tourmaline and I'm good. Like, it's not that I don't really fear like getting hurt. I don't ever really fear. That's not a thing. Like, I literally go where I want and do what I want. I never fear anybody trying to hurt me or really do anything to me. I just don't want them to bother me. And like, sometimes I am fearful because the other day I was walking and this guy, I kept seeing him circle around me and I'm like, are you following me? And he was like, I just wanted to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, dude, so The thing is that where I live, in the area that I live, is a hot spot for street prostitution. But I'm not out there doing that. And that is annoying because this is my whole thing, and that's why I don't discriminate between non-sex workers in what I do, because everybody is out here surviving in this rape death cult, and it is like, even if you're not a sex worker, you're still like probably getting proposition for prostitution, quite likely. I just don't like that people are out there doing that stuff. And it used to bother me when I was younger, when I was in college, because I was like, because I looked so young, and I'm like, they don't know that I'm not 15, and it just bothered me, and I think that people don't understand with what I do. A lot of times people think that I'm promoting prostitution or I'm telling people they should do it. I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm just here to support you after you already decided what you want to do, because people make their own decisions. Like, nobody needs to tell them, or trick them into sex work. Like, nobody needs to trick people into sex work. If they want to do it, they're going to do it. And that's a legitimate job. So there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just here to support people who have already made their decisions, whether you in it or not. Doesn't matter to me. It's good for some people and it's not good for other people. You have to make that decision for yourself. But I used to do readings about it, game-related readings. I don't do those readings anymore, but I do address sex work and sex workers' concerns in my readings on YouTube. I'm still grieving how it fucked me up in my 20s. It's understandable. It's literally one of the oldest jobs in the world. Yeah. When the vibe is high and you get caught off guard, I hate it. Men don't know how to not pierce our bubble with the gaze. Yeah, because it's like when I was growing up, my tata, my grandmother, would literally like cuss out me and my cousins for just laughing and smiling with each other in the street, because she would say, men are going to see you and think that you're smiling at them, and they're going to take that as an invitation. But we were getting cussed out, called bitches and whores and sharmutas and things, and that's not fair to us. That's grooming right there. Is like, just because you're in the street, you're a whore, so that means I can't be seen in the public domain, so I just gotta hide behind somebody's fucking balcony and hijab all day. That's not fair. I should be able to be seen however I want to be. And yes, like, my shadow side was happy to start stripping and start sex work, because I was finally able to show myself and show my body and live my life and do what I wanted to do in the confines of the capitalist culture that I'm forced into. Yeah, so people get what they they get what they ask for. Like, they get what they groom people into. I wasn't groomed to be a wife, because people didn't do partnership things with me. Like, I didn't see good partnership. I didn't learn certain skills like that. I was groomed to be a hoe. But guess what? There's no difference. Hoe skills are housewife skills. Yeah, just love. There's no difference. So that's why I said many hoes are going from having daddy issues to having husbands in 2022. Or studsbins, whatever you prefer. It's your world, boo. I have mace too, and black tourmaline with a kyanite pendant. Yes. If it's you or me, it's gonna be me. That part. Gotta stay strapped in these streets. It won't be me. I feel that. When the vibe, oh yes, I already read that. When the vibe is high. Yeah, because it's like you just want to be like happy and be yourself, and that's why there's a rule for Muslims. Muslim men have a rule. You look once, then you leave her alone. Leave her alone. If a woman wants you so bad, she'll come to you. You don't have to go to her. You don't have to fucking follow her in your car. And every woman out here is not selling pussy. So, you know. let her be. Unless if she wanted your attention, she would let you know. The way I see it, some have sex for money and others for free. How about that? Period. Like, it make no difference. It should make no difference. It's your choice. It's your body. Damn, this is really hitting me, right? Like, y'all hypersexualized me. What's good? Like, yeah, I'm like, I was so hypersexualized as a Muslim child. Facts. Yo, whoa. I was literally so weirdly sexualized as a kid, all from fear they completely created that shadow. Yeah. And not all women have pussy to sell. Yeah. Whatever you selling and whatever you want to call it. My neighbor stares at my ass all the time. It's getting worse. People are getting bolder. They'll proposition anybody at any time because they're getting so, like, the reptilian brain is taking over so much. On the one hand, it's a good time for bitches to pimp the shit out of desperate people. On the other hand, you have to protect yourself and stay safe and stay discerning. Aligning with your intuition is best. For me, I don't work often, but when I do work, it's a great experience. And with the boundaries that I have in place, as long as I stick to those boundaries and don't go outside of them, I do fine. If I go outside of those boundaries, then it's a whole nother story, you know, and that's why you have protocols and you have boundaries to have something to stick to. You stick to the plan because the plan works. That's why it's there. Treated like a sexual deviant as a child when I was literally just a child. Arab life. My neighbor stares at my ass all the time. He wants to smoke weed with me. I'm like, no. Yep. There was a thing that Debbie Ward just posted on her Instagram. That was an interview where she was saying, like, babies sexually pleasure themselves when they're in their mother's womb. They're touching themselves. When they're breastfeeding, they're like rocking their pelvis back and forth because it feels good. We're sexual. Like, we are born with our bodies. We're playing with them and touching them the whole time, and we're supposed to. And that disconnect is very anti-human. When we're told, like, we can't touch ourselves and we're not supposed to, and we're not supposed to experiment that way. Kids experiment with each other. It doesn't always mean that they're being molested, but unfortunately, like, in the culture that we exist in, child molestation is almost a guarantee of most people, and especially if you are in the sex worker caste, because remember I was saying that we live in a caste system, and there is absolutely a caste for sex workers. You're more likely to have been molested as a child. And I'm not going to get deep into this topic, but there is a very real like epidemic of spiritual abuse, ritual sexual abuse amongst spiritually gifted people, and many people who go on to become sex workers as adults were already sex trafficked and made to participate in ritual sexual abuse as well as just normal child molestation as children. So with the ritual sexual abuse, what happens with that is you're basically hypnotized and you're taken into, if this is something that has happened to you, the person's taken into like another room in their mind. And I know about this because it happened to me. And I would think that I was crazy if it wasn't for the fact that somebody else that was there validated that they remembered it too. Because they do it in a way that makes it so that you can't remember it. I remembered it because I meditated for like 1,000 hours. And that was my intention, was to remember. But it took me a long time. The first thing I remembered was the regular molestation, which I had repressed. Then I kept working at it, and I used meditation and I used my Reiki to continually work at it. And I was able to uncover the ritual abuse. And then I had that validated with somebody else that was there. And then I also had it validated by multiple healers. And I still, sometimes it doesn't feel real, but it's weird because I know it is real and it's almost too horrible to accept. But what I kind of I don't want to be alone in it. So that's why I talk about it, because it's not just me. It's happened to so many people, and most people don't remember it. And it usually happens it happens in people's schools or religious institutions, or if they're like, some people get kidnapped, or their families do it to them. Never thought of the cast frame, but yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Around 8. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's usually between like the ages of 6 and 8, 4 and 6, or 6 and 8. They do it before the age of 8. There's something that happens to your brain after the age of 8, so it's really easy for them. First of all, they're able to really like steal a lot of very pure energy under the age of 8, and then there's something that changes in your brain, so it's easier for you to forget what happened. And if you were ever in special ed or in a gifted and talented program, either one, or speech therapy, or ever went to a religious school. Like for me, it happened to my Islam school, but I feel like it also was happening at my elementary school. So I'm not sure about that. That's memories that have yet to be uncovered. And that's the hardest thing about this spiritual journey, you guys, because it's not just about being a psychic for other people and doing psychic readings for other people. You become psychic to your own life. And that's the hard part. It's easy to read other people. That's why you'll see a lot of people on here giving readings all day on the TL. I don't do that for you guys all the time. I give you my full moon and my new moon readings on YouTube. Um, and I go live with you guys whenever I can. I'm going to try as much as I can to do this more often, but I just don't have as much time to devote to it. Um, you know, I gotta let you guys miss me sometimes. You get a new memory after 8 if it happened to you. That's why it's hard to remember. I was a quote unquote gifted kid. Yeah, I was talking really perverted when I was 5, and my mom took me to a psychologist. They said something happened to me, but I don't remember anything at all. And when you're that young, you're extremely impressionable. So whatever happens gets imprinted on you for a lifetime. So, of course, a lot of sex workers have those childhood experiences. It's part of our caste, being in our caste, because we're not just sexual healers as adults. We were sexual healers as children too. We had an overabundance. I'm not gonna say an overabundance. We had an abundance of sexual energy. That's creative energy. That's our personal energy, and we had a lot of innocence. And that's another thing. That innocence. Teal Swan has a whole video about it. Why do people molest kids? A lot of people can't have conversations like this because it's like they just shut it down. Things that are really triggering for people, they don't want to talk through. But it's like we can actually solve a lot of these issues just by talking them through. And at least open up space for more healing, because typically when somebody's really rejecting something hardcore, they're triggered. There's a wound there that is begging and gasping to come up for air, but they're shutting it down by not being able to entertain the conversation because it's too triggering. So we got to talk about it. And then I feel like a lot of people also have perpetrated sexual violence as children, or feel like they did. And so, that's something that doesn't get talked about also, because a lot of people feel like, well, if it happened to me, but then I also did it, so I can't complain about it. At the clubs, people come really trying to work it out because they had it too. Mm-hmm. I love to talk about dark stuff. Purity stealers. Mm-hmm. Shadow work is the only thing I like. I'm just kidding, but you guys know. You guys know the deal. Nobody does shadow work like we do shadow work here because we're mixing spirituality with sexuality with occult knowledge. And the occult knowledge comes to you because you are a pure soul. Because it knows that you'll respect the knowledge and you know what to do with it. You get put through certain tests. Spirit is not going to teach you certain things knowing that you're going to do something like evil or harmful with it, unless that is that's type of spirit that you're working with. That's why, again, like so much like child molestation runs rampant in religious and spiritual communities because they are working with forces which feed off of that energy. And they're doing ceremonies utilizing this energy. So we're in a time where the veil is being ripped from people's eyes and they don't even want to admit to when they see the facts in front of their face. Like, it's one thing if you don't know about it, but if you know about, like, even, I mean, like, everybody knows about R. Kelly. You know, even if you don't know about all the, like, Epstein and Maxwell and all those things, which if you look on the list of the people that are implicated, it's all of Hollywood and all of the government. And then it also came out that they were actually spies for the Israeli Mossad, which is the Israeli CIA. So they were blackmailing people with, they were putting people with underage children in sexual situations, and then they were using that footage to blackmail people for political gains. Do you guys see, like, I mean, and it's like people are so brainwashed that they think that that's just a joke, or it's not real, or it's a conspiracy, or it's taking away from their real issues. But this is happening at every level of society, and these are the real issues. And, like, people are being sex trafficked all around the world, and they're being exploited for their labor in all different kinds of ways. It's all about the money. Follow the dollar. Y'all think these people leave anything to chance? They know exactly what they're putting in front of our faces, when, why, what correspondence the moon and the stars is at and the planets is at. They know exactly what they're doing. Their occult knowledge is through the roof. And they don't care who they hurt, and they will sacrifice babies and drink their blood. Like, y'all think that people are just out here, like, being extremists. What is so hard to believe about that? What is so hard to believe about that? This is how things have got done for all of time. If you look at traditional rituals, pagan rituals, this is how things have been doing. And it's not just European people. People all over the world was doing stuff like this. I don't like it when people try to act like I just find it disingenuous that people try to pin all of, like, bad things on Europeans, because y'all mean to tell me you don't think that our ancestors from all over the world was doing slavery and genocide and war and rape? I hope that they weren't, but come on, I think it's a little naive to think that. And I do think also that the reason why that narrative is advanced is to make European people look superior and seem superior, as if they have superior fighting and war skills. I don't think that they do. I think that this has been life on Earth for a long time. Genocide, war. And we can't trust history because it's a lie. It's all a lie. It's been fashioned in a certain way to make us think certain things. I'm going to break it all down for you guys because I went on a Googling spree down the rabbit hole, and this was literally just stuff that I found on Google that is common knowledge, that is taught in schools, and that is part of the official propaganda of the United States of America. And not only the United States, but the whole world. Because it was World War I and II was the establishment of this new world order. Aztec Empire colonized all of Mexico before the Spanish did. Exactly. Come on. Yes, please. Spiritual people keep looking for the tribe of the past to refer to. I'm like, where? You guys, we're a long way from the original humans. If there was original humans that were peaceful and just loving, you know, with an open heart chakra, we're a long ways away from them. It's all about power. Speak. Everything, everything we know is a lie. Everything that we know is a lie. Yes. Everything that we know as history is a lie. And what the fuck is kindergarten? Why is it German? These are questions that I wanted to know the answers to. Why is it that we learn all about Nazis all through K through 12? And we're supposed to be looking at them as bad, but it sort of seems to be glorifying what they did, along with glorification of U.S. slavery and genocide of indigenous people here. But even though those stories are lies. Not saying that some parts of them aren't true, but there's a lot of missing information and twisted information. They're telling us certain things that because they want us to believe things a certain way. They want us to look at ourselves and each other in certain ways. And that's a whole thread that I did on Twitter of how the term BIPOC is a tool of U.S. imperialism, because it's seeking to, like, it's sort of like giving reverence to Black and indigenous people here. First of all, it's making it seem like that's different because they want people to think that all the Black people here came from Africa, and that's not true. And then they want people to think that there's a separation between Black and indigenous, when actually the original indigenous here, Mexico, like the original indigenous people were Black here. The indigenous people of how they, I literally was just watching a clip that said this of young Pharaoh, but I don't endorse him per se, as like I wouldn't really like speak on that. But anyways, like there's things that people, with all these conspiracies, it's really easy to invalidate the sources of where you can get information from them, because people will like point to different inconsistencies or like, you know, real ass dangers with those different people. But the thing is that like when you're channeling this information for yourself, you'll come to find that it is true. And that's why we all need access to the Akashic records for ourselves, because you're going to find out the truth. Like, you know, first of all, like, where is the real birthplace of the civilization? Well, they say that it's Africa, but at that time, all the continents were put together. So it wasn't over there. It was over here. It was together. The Mississippi River and the Nile River are the same river. The technology to control the weather that we have now, they had back then. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. But this is why I really recommend to you guys to go through this certification course, this Reiki certification course, because this is how you find these answers. Because people need to be connected to their ancestors, and you need to know that you don't necessarily know who your ancestors are. You can't really, like, until you take that journey for yourself and you speak to them directly and you find out where they actually come from. Like, you know, you can't just rely on, I'm Arab, I'm Black, I'm, you know, Chinese, I'm this, I'm that. No, you, like, I'm indigenous. Well, we're all indigenous to somewhere. Where are you indigenous to? Who are you mixed with? You know, and what is your bloodline? Because they have it to where we can't really see ourselves or each other. We just see things in these flattened images. Where our actual consciousness is a kaleidoscope. Like we really should be able to basically read everything we need to know about a person in their aura. So we don't really have to go through too much of finding out. And that's why, like, I am who I am. You guys, I'm not a perfect person. Like, I've hurt people. I've hurt people's feelings. I've said and done dumb shit. Guess what? I'm still gonna say and do dumb shit some more, and I'm also gonna hurt people's feelings again. So what am I supposed to do? Just lock myself in a cage somewhere? No, because this is life. Like, this is who we are. This is what we do. We live. We're messy. We mess up. But with boundaries and softness, that's how you keep it together. Because I know myself, I can't be out here with everybody because I'm too triggering for too many people. I'm gonna rub people in the wrong way in so many ways, and so it's a threat to myself if I expose myself to that. You know, because we might there's things like it's like I feel like people sometimes want things to be a certain way. Like I was saying earlier, like I don't want it to be true that some people will look at me a certain way because I'm Arab. I want to be just like that doesn't matter, and sometimes it doesn't matter, but other times it does. You know, what y'all talking about? It was painful to let go completely of this lie. I need to find this info. I heard this. Memphis, yo. Yes. Felt like guard is still on psychiatric meds in the past clouded me. Yes. How's Memphis weather right now? My BFF is there. So, yes, you guys. Like, some stuff that I talk about, like, people, like, everybody's not going to want to hear it from me. But there's a lot of people that are saying this stuff. And some of them are white supremacists. Some of them are black nationalists. Like, you know, some of them are people that have been like known to sexually abuse other people or have been called doing that. And some of our ancestors are molesters. What are you going to do about it? You know, when people are talking about ancestral reverence and stuff, it's like, I don't believe in, you know, my honorable ancestors and all of that. Like, I don't believe in like separating out my ancestors. I love all of them and accept all of them for who they are because they're in a different place now. Whatever they were doing as humans, they have graduated. They died. They went to the other side. When people talk about white ancestors, like I cannot really resonate with like a lot of the hate and shade that people throw at white ancestors, to be honest, because I'm like, why do you think that your ancestors, like the non-white ancestors, were less harmful? Like I don't resonate with that stuff, you guys. I don't resonate with it at all. But I'm still holding the reality that we still live in this caste system and the system of racial stratification that is like predicated on anti-blackness and white black binary, and it tries to put everybody that it wants to use in the white category to try to oppress the other category, and they try to put us in certain grids with how we interact with each other and how we work with each other. And there's codependency woven in with the ways that we need each other. So, for example, if I'm beholden to my community as an Arab person, and somebody wants to use me as a weapon against like somebody else in another community by like I'm oh, here, we're going to give you this store where you can have this store so that that's money for your family to take care of your family. We just want you to slip in, you know, sell these cigarettes there that have these carcinogens in them, sell this alcohol there. Sometimes like straight up poison, like sell these poisoned foods and things like that in these communities, and people will do it because that's their survival, that's their money. So if you look at a place where there's a lot of immigrants, like there's places where people will do whatever they have to do and they don't give a fuck who they hurt because that's their survival. It honestly makes me nervous sometimes to speak openly because I don't want people to take shit and take it the wrong way. But the thing is that I can't control that. Like I literally don't know how someone's gonna react to anything that I say. And the ones that were horrible humans become your biggest servers in the spirit realm. That part, they do. They need your love. Like, and a lot of people like what I had to learn about my white ancestors is that I was pushing them away from me by hating white people so much. And then I do feel like that was a trauma response, because it's like, on one hand, it's like just the same things that I hate about treatment that I've received from white people, like I've still internalized that shit. Like I don't know the levels of ways that I've internalized colorism and that I've internalized like European beauty standards and things like that. I don't. I have no way of knowing that until it comes to the front of my awareness. And what usually happens when the stuff like that comes to the front of people's awareness, no matter who they are, they shut it down. They don't want to see it. The more open your heart chakra is, the more grounded you are in your body, and the more sexually satisfied you are and safe in your surroundings, the more able you are to be able to like see yourself and see your shadows and see ways that you could be hurting other people or judging other people unfairly. Everybody's not going to do that. Like most people will rather point out other people's flaws. But you're really real if you look to yourself and say, this is how I need to change because I am hurting people and it's not okay. And hurting people's feelings is hurting people. You can hurt people with your energy. And what happens is they use anxiety. What is anxiety? I've been thinking about this a lot. Because anxiety is a spiritual program which enables a wide open hole in your crown chakra through which all types of shit can get fed into you. Anybody can get possessed. I could get possessed. Anybody could get possessed. And you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're saying. Do you guys notice how all those Karens, like they all sound the same when they have those people that are like losing their shit and like doing crazy shit? They all sound the same. They're like screeching and screaming. They're possessed. That's a demon. They're possessed. And that's not, people try to be like, oh, you're making excuses for them. No, I'm not. But I'm just saying what I see as a spiritual person and a spiritual practitioner. Like there's a reason when the demons exist as a legion, so they can possess multiple people at one time. And that is what's happening. You can tell because they sound the same, they say the same things, and they're being completely unreasonable. And they wouldn't, that no person that is conscious of what they're doing would ever allow themselves to be caught on camera saying the shit that they're saying, no matter how entitled they feel, because they do know that that's not okay. Like on some level they know that it's okay, but they don't care. And then there's this breakdown that's coming out. As much as we might not like what they're saying or might not like hearing it, the thing is that these energies are getting purged from our collective body. So they're coming out. They're gonna come out. People are gonna say all kinds of shit. And you know what I was thinking too about Kanye West and how he had everybody so mad when he was like with Donald Trump and on the campaign trail and everything. And then you turn around and just a few months later, he's the richest black man in America or the world. I don't remember, but I don't think it's the world, but I don't know. Sorry, Kanye, I don't know. But yo, he got paid. So who gives a fuck if a whole bunch of people were mad at him? And did you guys notice how he seemed possessed when that was going on? He wasn't there. It was his avatar. Damn, I value this so much. Clarifying things felt. Everybody is not gonna do what they need to do to like continuously try to make their impact a positive one. But I feel like for me personally, the more that I tried to make my impact positive, the more that I realized I didn't need to try. Like I didn't need to do that. That just who I am is enough. I love my friends. I'm there for my friends. I can't love and be there for everybody, and it's like there's only so many people that you can care about at once. You got to set those boundaries for yourself, and you got to know that like some people are not going to be able to provide to you and reciprocate to you what you can provide and reciprocate to them. So you got to set the boundaries accordingly and just keep it moving. And notice that a lot of times we get stuck in situations because they replicate something that we felt as a need. And I feel that with what I've been I've always like been in interracial relationships, and I'm mixed. My parents are in an interracial relationship. It's always been something that I saw around me, and I never, I never not participated in it. And what I noticed is that I think sometimes people get into interracial relationships because they want evidence that racism isn't real, and that it's not really, it's not really bad, and it's not really going to affect them. And so then I think sometimes if those relationships go south, or if things happen, it's like it just feels so much more personal and so much more hurtful, because it's like proof that the world is just as fucked up as I thought it was. But it's just that we don't know how to love each other, like, and on so many levels, on so many different levels. It's a constant journey of learning, because we are put in positions where we're used to mitigate aggression that is supposed to be directly at our oppressors, the people who are pulling the strings and making this reality, but we can't reach them. So we can reach each other though, and that's where the aggression goes. And I've seen this so many times in relational dynamics of one person abusing one person, not necessarily like abusing them in the sense of like whooping their ass or saying something really mean to them, but just, in a codependent way, or, some type of way where it's like they put some of their aggression on this person, and then that person needs to find someone to put that aggression on. So they go to the next person that's the weaker link, and then that person goes to the other weaker link. And it's like whoever is the one that seems like they'll take it, and it's usually the one that you feel the most comfortable with, because that's the person that is not gonna like whoop your ass or hurt you. They're gonna take it, like, and I always try to make it known that like I'm not a safe place for you to take your aggression out on, because bitch, I'm crazy. I don't know how I'm gonna react, but I've gotten much more able to like not react and just not take things in at a certain point, because I can see when that relational aggression is happening, because I've studied it. But I have had multiple freakouts where I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Like, and I'll just shut down. So it's a learning experience. We're all traumatized. That's why I advise everybody to be a healer right now, because the world needs more healers. Everybody's hurt really bad. And if you love somebody, then you'll probably be called on to be their healer at some certain point. And I really wanted to live in a world in which there were people that I could go to for healing, that I could trust. So I had to certify them myself. And that's where this, like, I feel like I was really empowered to, like, be like, I mean, I have really high standards for my students' work. And I feel empowered in that, because like I don't know, we're the best. We need to know we're the best, and other people need to know we're the best too. It's my competitive streak. Femmes are not supposed to be competitive. We're not allowed to be competitive. I want to be the best for us, not for me. I want to feel that good feeling for me, but I'm fighting for us, and I go hard for us. And I'm really the type of person, like, I will give anybody my last. Like, I will do what I can do. But the boundaries that I have set in place now are to protect myself and to protect the people that I serve and what I'm able to give. Because if I am answering every DM, if I am, chatting with everybody, giving my time to everybody for free, that's taking away from what I have for myself and the energy that I have supporting to the offerings that I have for you guys. And when I do have one-on-one clients again, that will be taking away from them. And when I do have one-on-one clients again, it's going to be over a period of 6 months, so we can really get deep and really work with one another. Because some of y'all have known me for years. Even if we've never met in person, you've known me on here, and I've been a partner in your journey this whole time. So I am ready to kick it up a notch. It took me time to get comfortable with myself, because like the there's like I'm not the only one that's living a double life or that has been living a double life. I'm speaking in the past tense now because I'm stepped into my new persona, my new reality, and you guys are gonna learn my new name soon. But for now, it's still Amira. You can still call me Amira in the future, but I'm transitioning into another level of my identity, and that necessitates a new name. So you're gonna find out what it is soon. Some of you already know it. But yeah, you guys, you know, I had to heal from being sexually assaulted as a sex worker, and I didn't have anybody that I could go to. And now I have over 100 people in the app that I founded, that over 60, almost most of them practice the holistic healing style that I channeled. And it's not just something that I channel, it's a space of opening up portals of mysteries that have been covered for so long that are not readily available. And pretty soon I'm going to teach you guys about how Reiki fits into the simulated reality that has been imposed upon us, because Reiki is a part of that. That's why I don't trust everybody's Reiki. And I strongly urge you, if you've already been certified, I strongly urge you to get certified in my side Reiki, because it will clean the slate and it will allow you to be open to your own imprinting instead of somebody else's. I trust myself completely as a spiritual practitioner. I know what I'm doing. I know what's right when. I know what to do as a spiritual guide. A lot of people will really question my methods, and that's why I'm not teaching live classes and putting myself, you know, like in such close proximity with my students anymore, unless it's like a party, unless you guys are in mothership or you guys are like VIP special people, but you have to go through the protocol to get there, because I have an energy that really triggers deep shadows and triggers people so deeply. And there's also a lot of like mother energy that I bring to people, as well as daddy energy sometimes too. So then, you know, that brings up so much authority wounds and father wounds for people. And it's just not for me to like expose myself to that directly. It's better for me to have the distance, safe distance. But with the people that I'll be working with one-on-one, we'll be working closely. And I'm really looking forward to developing those relationships and just being that support for you. So the price has gone up. Yup. I get extremely anxious sometimes about like how I'm perceived or how I'm coming off or how people are seeing me, because like I can be shy sometimes, but I'm really very outgoing. I'm very much an extrovert. I love talking to people. But when I hit my wall, then all of a sudden I don't feel so good, and I'm becoming a public person now. So I'll get recognized in the street because people know my Instagram, or they know my face, and they know who I am. And so I can't be out here looking busted, and I have to like also, it's like if I'm rude to somebody or if I don't feel like talking to them, they're gonna remember that. They're gonna be like, oh, that bitch. But I can't control that anyway. So yeah, I can't be friendly all the time, but I'm gonna try my best to be friendly most of the time. Rebirth. I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to meet you either. We hoes bring weird words out of people though. Yes, exactly. That's the thing. Like people don't understand that the way that people react to me is not always the way that people react to them. Like people get like sexual tension, you know? And that was something I was thinking about earlier, was like, I don't know how many female friendships I've had where there was I felt a lot of animosity from them that I felt was sexual tension because they were uncomfortable with how I made them feel. And I'm not uncomfortable with it. Like I've been bisexual. I don't really identify that way. I identify as queer. But I've been dating multiple genders since I started dating. So it doesn't bother me. I've been disowned by my family for being gay. Bitch, I can't really entertain closeted people and stuff like that. I'm not into that because no, I've already sacrificed too much to be who I am. And people that are like in the closet and they're dishonest, I understand completely. Whatever things that you have to do, you know, to survive, that's you, that's your life. But it does necessitate a level of dishonesty that is detrimental, and I don't think it's fair for people that, like, I personally, I would rather have the I would rather have the jihad or the struggle of being my real self than the jihad or the struggle of being somebody else for other people's comfort. Sometimes I feel like the inner child is responsible for a lot of the shyness, and it honestly protects us. That is so sweet. My ex just texted me, compared us to Kim Ye to a homie tonight. I can't trust him with my heart. I don't know what's going on. It's about to be Venus retrograde, about to bring back those exes for another do-over. So choose wisely, set your boundaries, let people know where they had you fucked up at. I seen the tweet from Big Empress Energy earlier that said, like, nothing is better than impressing your inner child. Yeah. People want to be around us because our energy is healing, and they don't like that the healing involves purging darker energy. They get embarrassed and it turns into anger. So funky. It is so true. It is so true. And it, like, literally every healer that I know has the same experience. That's why it's so important for us to be in communities with other healers. I was with friends a few weeks ago, and in the conversation with another person, she was expressing like anger because she was saying like, there's nobody that will walk through my shadows with me, but this friend like consistently like tries to bring me close to her but tries to push me away, tries to bring me close to her but tries to push me away, because she knows I can walk with her through her shadows, and she doesn't really want that. That's too deep. And a lot of people, it's like they can't really have a real friendship with you because it's too deep for them. Your level of intimacy and self-exploration is going to places that they don't want to go. And it's better that you are free from them, even though it might hurt to disconnect. We're getting way far from any type of codependency consciousness. We will not survive with the codependency consciousness, because you have to be able to set those boundaries like cleanly and clearly and ethically to survive. You can't share with people in a crisis situation. You can't, if somebody's milking you, they're gonna drain you. You know, like for example, we had a hurricane here. I let everybody charge their phone off of my van battery, and the battery died. So now I'm fucked up out here because I don't have a vehicle. That shit ain't worked ever since. It needed more repairs after that. It wasn't just the battery that died. The whole engine suffered from that because I was overgiving. I didn't have to do that, but I wanted to. And I learned my lesson. You know, you can't sacrifice yourself for somebody else. They will drain you, and then they won't say thank you or feel like. One of the people that did that ended up posting on Instagram about how she didn't feel supported during the hurricane. And I'm like, wow, really? Because I overgave to you and the van battery died. You know, everybody's not you. Like, everybody's not going to appreciate things the way that you might appreciate them. I don't take nothing for granted. I appreciate everything. And again, like, you know, your energy is pure. Your energy is special. You are somebody that heals other people with your mere presence. So you have to know that that is a currency, and you have to protect it. I've been going live for 2 hours. You whoa. All right. On that note, I'll be seeing y'all. Take good care of yourself. You know, I love chatting with you guys. Hope to see you soon. Get the class. Join us on the app. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Stay tuned. Hoes are healers. We are a part of your community and we're not going anywhere. Peace. Ma salama. Much love. Bye.